Welcome to another episode of the Archery Roundtable, brought to you by the following sponsors. Barn Burner Custom Strings, where champions find a way. B3 Archery, built the best, by the best, for the best. Base Camp Country Real Estate, more than just dirt, it's a lifestyle. Enjoy the episode.
Literally get up at 4:30 in the morning.
Quarter till 5, yeah.
Quarter to
I
5.
don't have to be there till 6. But
You work out before?
No,
It shows.
after. I work out after work.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome to the Archery Roundtable. I'm your host, along with that guy, Matt Jacobs, and I'm Rusty Miller. We have a special guest today. Look at him; he's
I don't know
smiling
about
already.
special.
He's grinning ear to ear.
Yeah,
He's never been called special before.
I don't know. There might be a couple out there call me special ed or something.
But this is Chris Cooper, and we're going to get to know each other because we know each other through mutual friends, but we've never actually met.
Yep.
So I've got a lot of questions for him. Matt has known him for years and got a lot of questions for him. And we're going to just dive into he shoots ASA Open Pro and IBO, and we just kind of want to talk to him about his life and how he balances working full time and job and a wife and an ASA career as it is as a pro. So, you got anything?
I've been just going to follow with what you said. Just dig into why you do it. Is it worth it to you? Is it just for fun? You know, I've got some questions that I've been dying to ask a pro such as yourself. So hopefully we don't put you on the spot too much. But
I started when I was a little kid. My dad took me to all those local shoots and stuff everywhere. White River, Brownstown. There was a couple other ones we would always go to. And
was Scipio around when you
I
started?
don't think it wasn't that was more when I got back into it.
Yeah.
But we used to go all over the place. He would take me, and then I started shooting. I was shooting fingers, and I started shooting a wrist strap, and was just punching them right in there
Right
like
in the middle.
everybody else.
Hey,
And,
some
he-
of us still punch the
He's
middle.
like,
Spud.
hey,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
punch,
if you
I don't know
can
about
if
the
you can
middle.
duplicate it, that's a great way. Look at Tim Gillingham; he's one of the best.
Oh,
ever.
He comes up on every one of our podcasts.
Yeah, so far we're
'cause
two
Because
for
he's
two.
awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
he's
we
good,
talk
yeah.
about punching.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do.
Rusty's a puncher.
Well, hey, if you can hold it there and let it fire.
No,
I
man,
can't-
you
I
just
can't
wait
do
until
that.
it's coming back through, and then you punch it.
drive by.
Yeah, it's a drive-through.
Drive by. That's funny. But
So you started as a young child.
yeah,
with
yeah,
your dad.
like probably about. I was probably 8 or 9 when I first grade. So first grade's probably 7 years old. So I
Yeah,
might have been
6, 7,
7 or 8
Yeah.
when I first started, like kind of shooting. You know.
And were you good? Did you know? Okay, maybe I.
I
can-
didn't know. I just
You were just shooting a bow, having
shooting,
fun,
having
and-
fun with my
I heard
dad.
you were winning a lot of tournaments as a kid, though.
Yeah, I did. And I didn't. It wasn't anything that I did. I mean, my dad just showed me how to shoot a bow and point it. I mean, he's like, "Hey, if you focus on aiming and just make a good strong shot, you'll hit it." And I started out like everybody else, 5 or 10 yards, and at a hay bale and a paper plate. He'd draw a circle, and I just
Put it in there.
just stand there and just shoot. And I was like, "Oh, this is fun. Just something to do with my dad." And
Sure.
every little boy looks up to their dad. I mean,
Sure.
he hunted all the time, and I wanted to hunt, and I wanted to kill a deer with my bow. And I was awful at hunting with a bow as a child.
Yeah,
I
now
was-
you're a big buck killer. We're going to get
No,
into that.
definitely not a big buck
Oh,
killer
I've
at
seen
all.
some of them
Oh,
deer killed.
We
not-
got stories coming up.
No.
I've done my research, buddy.
Yeah, maybe a doe killer with Lou Allen on doe management only.
So what's
But
So you shot a lot as a young kid.
yeah, I did it to get better at hunting.
What was can you remember the first time you went to a tournament and thought, "Oh crap, I'm actually nervous. I'm competing."
Yep, it was was it the World Turkey Championships in Bedford? I think they used to have that
Yeah.
at the 4-H fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Really?
No, it wasn't that one, but they had that one. That was the second one. The first one was the first leg of Triple Crown.
Okay.
I remember we pulled in. I remember us pulling up that hill, and it was lined all the way out
Oh,
to
yeah?
50.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people back then. It was IBO. And I
How
was
old were
like-
you?
I was 13.
Okay.
Like, that's when I got. That was the first big event I went to, and I thought, wow, there's a lot of people here, And I remember getting out, and we pulled in, and we parked over to the left. And I remember getting out, and I told my dad, I said, man, I don't feel good. My mouth's starting to water. And he kind of looked at me, and I'm like, I I don't feel well, Dad. Something, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was, I didn't know. I've never been nervous before. And my mouth kind of spit a couple times, and I thought, I started getting them jitters. We went and signed up, and then I got to see Randy Almer and Bart Larson.
Yeah, back then that was all the big guys.
Yeah, yeah, and Darren was there.
Burley Hall.
Burley
was
Hall. I mean, I seen all those guys, and I was like, wow, I've watched these guys before. And I remember my dad telling me. My dad was a huge Randy Almer fan, huge. And he would always tell me about him, well, Randy Almer does this, or you need to do that,
And there he is standing in front of you.
And there he was, and I was like, it made
It's
me
like
nervous.
seeing you're a famous guy from TV, right?
Yeah, I don't remember where I placed that shoot. I don't think I done very good because I was overwhelmed, but I was kind of hooked because I had that adrenaline
Oh,
rush.
yeah, I bet that just hooked you right
I remember playing Pee Wee baseball in the All Stars.
Yep.
My dad would have to pull over, and I'd have to go to the bathroom on the way there every time because I was sick to my stomach, and I would just throw up in the bathroom from being like nervous or whatever.
It doesn't take much.
It was the same sort of feeling, I'm sure, that you had when you pulled in and didn't realize what was going on.
I still get it to an extent. I mean, and every time you get in there and you get to that, your first few targets, you're kind of like, all right, let's just make a couple good shots, make sure my numbers are good. Even though I don't get nervous at 3D really anymore until the shoot off. You get a little amped up.
I was going to ask because for me, when I shoot 3D, the first target is the most nerve wracking for me.
Yeah,
It's
it
because
can be. Yeah,
it sets the pace for the day.
Yeah.
If you come out and you shoot a 5, it's like,
well, you've got to want to feel that on the first target. You got to be like, I can't wait to get to that first target and feel those and feel that excitement. I refer to it as excitement because if you say nerves, that's kind of a negative feeling.
Yeah, you don't want to put a negative thought in your head right before you start.
So I just like, man, I can't wait to. I'm so excited. I always try to tell myself that and try to be positive because that pin will get back there if you can keep it steady on the back end. I mean, you can't be all over the target, but I mean,
Yes, you can.
You can, and then.
Yep.
But
what's funny is the first target, I'm not nervous. The one and only ASA I went to, I wasn't nervous either day on the first target because I was just thinking, just IBO middle 10.
Yeah.
Don't try for the 12s. Just put it in the middle
Make
of the
some good
body.
shots. Yeah.
Put it in the middle of the foam and see where you're at. And then after that, you're trying to shoot 10s or 12s, and you're trying to get going. And that's when the nerves kind of set in a little bit more, especially if you start hitting a couple of them. Or don't, I guess, too.
Sometimes for me, and I don't know if I can speak for everybody, but sometimes you can try too hard. And I'm horrible at that. Because, like, if I'm not where I want to be, I'll be like, man, I got to bear down. And then it just makes it.
You got to shoot.
You almost
free and
kind of
easy.
got to. You just got to kind of find it throughout the day. And if you're somewhat on the struggle bus, just try to
Minimize
keep your head above water. But because there's just days. I mean, you're just like I shot with McCarthy this year in London, Kentucky, and man, he shot awesome, and he didn't score very good at all. I mean, he was just that much all day, and it was impressive to watch because every arrow you're like, I think you got it,
And then you
And
walk
then
up there.
and we
and
get
you're
down
like,
there, and he's one of the best people to shoot with because he's always positive. He's like, man, it's just not my day. And he just took it with stride.
Yeah, that's the attitude you got to have because
Yeah,
you're going to
yeah.
be kicking yourself in the butt
And
more than you're not.
that's what I've learned probably the most in the pro class. Those top guys that are always there, they don't get bothered. They just cool as a cucumber. It's just not my day. I'll come back the next tournament or the next day. And
Now, how long have you been shooting pro?
that's a good question, Matt. I think this would be my 4th year.
And you're open pro,
Hold
which is
on, I'm trying to think. Let's see. My twins were born in 2015, and I won out of semi-pro in 2015. So 2016 was my first year. So this would be my 4th year.
okay.
Yeah.
And open pro, which you're
Open
not,
pro.
you're judging.
Yep.
You're not known distance.
Yeah.
Why not known distance?
I mean, I like no distance. It's fun, but it's not 3D. It's not what I grew up doing.
Do you think you have an advantage shooting unknown?
The only reason I would think I would have advantage shooting unknown over someone else is because I have the targets. But I mean, I worked my butt off trying to learn how to judge, and I'm still not very good at it. I mean,
That's what I was wondering. If you considered yourself good at it.
I mean, I have to work at it. I have to go out there and stare at targets. I mean, there's sometimes you go out there, and depending on like, I've noticed like my sleep and what I've eaten and how much I've had to drink.
How much pre-workout you've had?
No, I don't take pre-workout, but how much I've had affects your judging.
Yeah.
Because if you're not hydrated the next day, you're not going to see that well because your eyes they hurt. So like I learned last year, it would have been last year, drink a lot of water when you're out there.
Really?
Like whenever.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because it really affects you the next day. Like if you get through one day and you shoot
That
good,
could've
you
been
nearly
my
need
problem.
you need to get hydrated, not on beer.
Oh,
Do you think they'll
It
let
wa-
him pull a
it
wheelbarrow
was-
full of water bottles behind him?
Yeah,
it was.
I mean-
We got real wasted on Fireball at my ASA.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, it didn't go
it's
well the
probably
second
not
day.
well. No.
No.
So
And sleep too. Sleep's a big deal.
sleep's
I
a
don't
huge one.
sleep well at tournaments, and
is it because you're not in your bed, or is it because of a nerve thing? Or
I think it's because I'm
excitement
more.
thing?
I think it's honestly, I'm not even. I don't want to sound arrogant, but when I get there, I feel like I have, I feel like I'm there to try to win, or I'm there to try to do well, or whatever my goal is for that weekend. But honestly, it's more so I'm concerned about my family back at home, because my wife, I have 3 kids and
Yeah.
3 little kids.
Let's
you
just
know.
say, let's get into that real quick. So
That's
you're
the-
married.
that's
How
the-
long you been married? You have 3 kids. How old are they? Boys, girls, that kind of stuff.
I've been married. This will be my 8th year. We got married in 2012.
Okay.
On September 8th. And then I have twin daughters. They will be 5 in May, and I have a 1-year-old. So it's pretty busy at our house.
Yeah,
But
no feelings.
well,
And
my
then you-
wife's awesome, though. I mean, I tell everybody that. Everybody knows me. She's amazing. I'm
Oh,
not just
well,
saying
I mean-
this because we're on the podcast.
Well, no, trust me.
Well, I mean, really,
she's not
she-
going to listen to this podcast
Yeah,
if she's
no,
anything like our
no,
wives.
No, she won't listen to it at all, so she wouldn't know I was saying this.
but
But
I know what you're saying. 'Cause
Yeah.
any
Is
wife that
awesome.
lets their husband shoot and do this kind of stuff. they
yeah,
have
and I
to-
hunt a lot
Yeah.
too. I mean, I'm going on September on an elk hunt.
Really?
Yeah, and with the Trifecta Outdoors, and she's like, okay, that's cool, great. But
That's awesome.
but my mom's real helpful. Her parents are helpful. My dad, everyone, our
I'm
family.
sure you pick up the slack on your end when you don't have a
Absolutely. I
tournament
mean, that's why I have targets. It's
Yeah.
it's hard to get away. I mean, for a minute. Plus, my daughters. I mean, they love to be outside. They love to shoot too.
weekend. Oh yeah, and it doesn't matter how hard you try; they always want to be in front of you when you're shooting. and it's-
Absolutely, yeah. So that's my biggest concern when I'm there. Honestly, I'm thinking about them 24/7 because we have our routine. We get home from work, we get the kids, get everybody in. I'm real big on sitting down, eating dinner every night. Like
Yeah, as
that's
a family. Yeah,
that
that's
is
big.
that is a routine thing at our house. We will sit down every night, have our dinner, talk about our
Cherish it
days.
while you can.
Yeah, exactly. And I like to talk to the girls. They're in 4-year-old preschool, so they go to school 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And I enjoy hearing what they have to say and talk about that. That's pretty fun. But that was my big reason. I was thinking about not even shooting this year, except for anything within like 3 or 4 hours of the house.
Yeah.
And because I didn't have a sponsor there for a while. Me and Matthews kind of parted ways, and then
we'll get
and
into
then
that.
I got with Martin, and they welcomed me with open arms, so they. I shot, it kind of changed a little bit, but
So with the whole family thing, and so I shoot known,
yeah,
you shoot unknown. I like to dive into the whole
Yeah.
unknown known.
it's a big topic
debacle.
right now.
It's been beaten with a
And
dead horse.
everyone
But I
on
like to try to
Facebook
bring
talks
in
about
different
it.
aspects of it and just different questions to people. So I hear a lot of people say they don't like known because the yardage judging is not there, and that's a part they like.
Mm-hmm.
So riddle me this: do you feel like people give that as a stock answer because they're afraid to miss? In the amateur ranks, everybody says, I hear a lot of people say, well, I just like judging. That's what 3D is. Okay, and I get that.
Mhm.
I can't argue that. But when you step up to a known target and it's 44 yards or 47 yards, whatever it is, you have zero excuse to miss.
Yeah, it's a different
So
feeling.
now it brings out the archer.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people mask that answer with, I just like judging better versus I don't want to miss and my flaws will come out more. Because we all know that anybody has judged a target wrong and made a
100%.
great shot and get
Yeah,
a 12.
all the time.
You will never have that in known distance.
You're right, but you may have a kick out. You may have other things
You'll
that
have-
cause you to not get a 12. But the so I'm going to kind of give you a roundabout answer. If you're a family guy, or not a family guy, everybody out there's a family guy.
Sure.
But anyways, if you're super busy, like myself, I should probably shoot no.
And that's where I was getting at.
But I don't enjoy it as much. I enjoy strategizing on a target and trying to outthink someone on that play.
So you like the aspect of judging yardage where, okay, he might be as good a shot as I am or even a better shot, but if I can keep it closer to the 12 because of my yardage judging, I have a chance to outshoot a guy that has a better shot ability.
Those guys are so good at judging.
I've heard some of the stories. These guys,
they're
they're basically shooting known anyway.
They're insane. Yeah, they are. I mean, those guys are. I mean, it's a pleasure just to compete with them. I mean, really. But to answer your question in a roundabout way, a guy that is just wanting to shoot his bow and maximize his amount of time that he can just shoot and just work on himself, known's the way to go. Absolutely. Sure. But if you want to dive into 3D started out with, that's what I did as a kid, and it took me so long to get. I wouldn't even say I'm decent at it. I would say more
you
like
don't want to give up a skill you've worked up on your whole life.
Yeah, and the tricks that I've learned to help me judge or things I've wrote down. And I can speak for all the known pro or unknown guys. I mean, they're all like that. And it's just, I can see where the known pro is more like, hey, you come shoot over here because you can't miss. It's kind of more like a spot tournament.
It is. It becomes more of a spot tournament.
Because once you know the targets, you know the targets. But those known pro guys that are at the top of the level, I would say, if not all of them, I would say at least 75% of them own ranges. So they're still at advantage over the guys who are just coming and don't own ranges.
Sure.
Like I guarantee you Mike Slosser, he probably doesn't own a range.
Yeah.
But when he came and shot, I mean, he shot awesome in Foley last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he almost made the shoot off. And I think that was his first ASA ever.
Yeah, and he's coming in not really seeing targets.
Not really
knowing
targets.
Learning on the practice range.
So you can still do it. If you got a good pair of binoculars, then you can kind of learn targets. But in my opinion, the best of the best 3D shooters are still in the Open Pro.
Fair enough. I mean, it's hard to argue that.
It's hard to argue with Danny and Levi.
Well, when you look at the aspect of, 3D, growing up, everybody judges yardage.
Yeah.
And that you have to have both aspects of that to do well in Open Pro. Now, the argument is, okay, well, are you the better archer or the better judger?
Yeah.
That's always been.
But you got to be good at two things. I mean, you really got to. Well, really three things, because you got to be able to strategize. You got to know when. You got to know when to hold.
You got to be able to manage that course.
Yeah, manage the course. You got to be a good shot. You got to be good judging. I mean, it's just the ultimate test. I mean, it's you're an archer. You're more of a. There's just more to it, I guess, than just shooting your bow.
Sure.
And it's hard. Sense. I mean, not everybody wants to do it. It's difficult. I mean, it's not. It's expensive to go out there and play with those guys.
You're never going to do well unless you have a range.
I would say, and the only way you can do well without a range is if you're going to a lot of local shoots. And I mean by a lot, if you're seeing 3 different ranges, if you could practice 3 days a week at probably someone else's, like if there was local shoots,
sure,
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I think you could do well if you have a knack for it and you learn. I mean, you got to be willing to learn. I mean, judging yard is just like shooting a bow. In a way, there's tricks that help you that you can jot down and remember. Oh, okay.
Now, so you say that. Do you have a notebook
about? I do, but I don't keep one as much as I have anymore. It's all in my brain. It doesn't
It's just memorized.
It doesn't work very good anymore.
so like, do you have a strategy for, say, the cheetah versus the cougar versus this?
So
just based on
the like the leopard, it's one of my better targets. I don't know why, but like I know in the back of my mind, I usually judge it fairly well.
Are those spots the same on every target?
No, I think they're probably painted a little different.
Yeah.
But now, like the javelina, that target is called. I have 12'd it on some phenomenal shots, and I have 5'd it and hit it in the toenail. And I'm like, man, and like that's just a target where if
they always put that farthest away in the dark, right?
Sometimes, yeah, most of the time. But like that target there, I know that. Usually it's as far as it looks. So if I'm aiming for the lower 12, I'm not going to cut on that target no matter what. I don't care if I hit it in the top of the 8 line, I'm not going to cut. Yeah. I've learned that, and there's just,
There's
Other
targets
targets,
like that?
like the turkey. I really like the turkey for some reason. I don't know why. It seems like
Do you turkey hunt?
yeah.
Do you think that helps?
No, I think the only thing that I hated that target for so long in IBO, and I had one when I was a kid, and
Like a live turkey?
No, like the 3D target.
Oh, okay.
And I hated
Just
it,
checking.
and I think I just made it one of my better targets. You know?
So how do you break down? So ASA brought in 2 new targets this year, right?
Yep.
So will Foley be the first time you see them?
Yep.
So what's your strategy on that? Just glass them the first
So
time
I
and
think
hope you
one
don't
of
shoot
them-
first?
I think one of them is a badger, of some
Wolverine?
sort. Wolverine, yeah, Wolverine. So I think the first time I see that, I was looking at it online, and there's kind of a line in the middle of the 10.
Mhm.
I think I'll probably just shoot center 10 and either call upper or just kind of get a feel for it. Well, the first time I shoot it.
Yeah.
Now, if I get to see it if I could go and see it before Foley, it'd be great. But I don't know if Patoka's shooting next weekend, but I don't know if they'll have it.
I don't know.
Oh,
You'll get a practice range for a little bit down there.
Yeah, I'll practice one. Yeah, maybe a little bit. We probably won't get there till Thursday evening.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that goes into being away from your family
Yep.
and having a real job, right? So how many days do you get to take off versus that and get down there as early as some pros that
Yeah, unfortunately.
roll in on Wednesday and are there for a week, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, I won't be able to do that. I'll be there on I'll leave Wednesday after work, probably drive as far as we can. Get a room, get up that next morning. Hopefully we're within 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Then we can get up early and get there by, lunchtime and grab something to eat and then sign up and shoot till, 4 hours. Maybe not shoot 4 hours, but it'll take that long because it'll be
To be there
busy.
and walk around.
Walk around, yeah. And then what I'll do is I'll shoot, make sure my numbers are good and on my bow, my sight tape and everything, and then I'll probably just put the bow down and try to go judge some yardage. Because I've shot more than I anticipated I was going to shoot this indoor season, really. So I'm super happy with my bow.
Well, you were
My
pounding
bow's
X's
shooting
a
good.
few minutes ago.
Yeah,
so.
it shoots good.
I want to get to a little bit of when you get there as well. How much do you get to be there and walk the course, or do you, as a pro, have to go and talk to some sponsors and shake some hands and kiss some babies and all that stuff? Or are you there to, when you get there, you can practice, and when you're done, that's when you get to do that kind of
Yeah,
stuff?
when I get there, I'll get signed up first, and then I'll go straight to the practice range, and then I'll probably talk to them probably if we get done early enough and they're still open, we'll talk to them
So-
Thursday afternoon, Friday, Saturday. We'll hang around after our rounds and see them all. The archery community is like family. Everybody's super awesome. I can't wait to see everyone. That's one
And
of
that's
the best
part
things,
of the
yeah.
best parts of
That's
being
one of
there.
the
It's
best
like-
parts about it.
It's
You
like
get
a
to see
base camp,
everybody.
a deer
Yes,
camp
yes,
every year,
exactly.
right?
Yeah,
So-
you go out to dinner and you see all your buddies, and you're like, man, how's your hunting season? How you been? And
So you have a Martin
yep,
sponsorship.
yep,
You have a B3.
yep.
What release do you, I've been waiting to ask this. What release do you shoot?
I have been shooting the Infinity.
That's what I heard. This guy has a release made after him, named after him, the Coupe with B3, and he doesn't
Yeah.
even shoot
It's
Wait,
still-
it's called the Coop? I thought it was the
It's
co-op.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
No.
the Co-op.
I'm
but
going to start calling them the co-op.
no, I have one, and I kind of go back and forth, but they came out with that new Pro Pack, and it comes in a 3-finger with a hook, and then it's got a 4-finger on it, or you can have just a regular. And I was at the ATA, and I was talking to Brian. I'm like, man, I like how that feels in my hand. And he's like, do you? And I'm like, can I take this piece home? He's like, that's a prototype. And I'm like,
So
I'm
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
with it. Can I take it home? He's like, sure, yeah, take it home. So I started shooting it, and the first round I shot 329X. And I was like, man, I kind of like this release. And
I bet it didn't go back, did it?
no.
you still have it?
Well, it was a release. I had that release last year. I just put that hook on there, and I got to moving it around, and I don't know, just something different.
So
So-
I've shot with you a lot. You're an aimer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Very similar to Dan McCarthy. Do you feel that hook in any way helps you
yes,
speed your shot up in a way that
Yeah.
doesn't make you tense? Because I know a lot of times aimers, if they try to rush their shot, they get jittery at the end.
Yeah.
And does that
Yes.
hook help a lot
I-
in that sense?
that's what it helped me the most was I could fire it and I could almost, like you said, I could move through it so much better, and my pin didn't wiggle as much. It wants to sit there more. But I've got several changes this year, so we'll see how it goes. But it definitely helped fire I got in a better rhythm the first night I shot it. I felt like I got in a really good rhythm. But
Yeah, I know you sent me.
But I've been shooting the same coupe I got forever ago, So
Yeah.
Do you like the Mini Coupe?
I don't like the Mini Coupe cars.
Does it feel weird saying the coupe? I shot the coupe.
Yeah, kind of.
Do you get used to it?
No,
No,
not really,
no.
yeah. No,
That's pretty funny.
no.
Uh,
And I might end up shooting it. I may get there and be like, I need.
Do you
to
take
change.
more?
Oh
when
yeah,
you-
I usually take a button. I take the Versa with a spring, and I'll
That's
have
a sweet release.
I'll have my Infinity, and then I'll have 3 of them.
You don't have a wrist release?
No,
hammer
I
one?
can't. I can't do that from a handheld to that and then get the same
I'm just
anchor.
kidding.
and peak.
That's-
Yeah,
I'm
my
a
peak gotta
hunter.
go
That's what I
way up.
have. Yeah.
Hey, those are great.
Hey,
Those
it's a
are-
B3. It's great.
Those are awesome. That's what everybody hunts with. Probably 90% of the people use a wrist strap.
Yeah.
Do you hunt with a wrist strap or?
I hunt with a back tension.
Yeah. So does this guy when he hunts.
Yeah.
He doesn't hunt very much.
I know.
I
It's
need
because
to
he
get
can't
back-
kill big deer.
I don't know.
Unless
He's killed a
look-
couple of nice ones. He killed a nice one with Llewellyn.
Yeah. If like you have a 7-year-old.
Yeah,
She's a couple years old.
and a
it just-
newborn, right?
And it is a 7-month-old now. So it's been a little hectic, and the company's been growing, and it's.
Yeah.
I need to get out there, and we talked a little bit on one of the previous podcasts where I turned my passion into my job, and I lost all love for it.
Yeah, because you were pretty pumped up. Whenever we was first shooting in here for Lee, you were pumped up to go to Foley.
Oh, I was pumped. I was
I
hammering.
mean, you was
straight good.
hammering X's. I remember coming over
Oh,
here
yeah,
through
I
the
was
week
shooting
when we would
great,
shoot.
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
man,
he used to be
was
able to
shooting that
shoot, man.
Hoyt. He was shooting a blue Hoyt.
Yeah, I don't remember what that bow was called.
I mean,
Teal-
he's
the
had
teal color bow.
he's had 19 bows since then. So.
Yeah, I know he's got several hanging over there on the rack.
but
I see.
and that's the thing. I lost passion for hunting, which I loved. I mean, that's what got me.
See,
into
I
all
couldn't
this.
imagine that.
It's
I can't either.
It's one of those
That's
things,
the thing that I just can't.
You know,
that's
if-
what I do it.
if you're in the industry, and maybe it's different for everybody, but I lived and breathed archery prior to starting a business in archery, and then I lived and breathed the business, and then when I was done working before I started the company, I wanted to go shoot my bow, go out in the woods, go hunting.
Yep.
Then all I wanted to do was go home. I wanted to separate myself from it.
That's why he's got 2 kids now.
Hey, it
But I
happens.
wanted to separate myself. So I played golf. I played a lot of golf, and
Yeah, you're a big golfer.
I just kind of got away from hunting because hunting is not quick and easy. It's not to get a license the day before shotgun.
No,
season
there's a
got
lot
in.
into it. I mean, I just
You
I
can.
went scouting there and shed hunting a couple weekends ago. I mean,
Yeah.
and then that's another thing with archery. It's like, well, I should be practicing, but man, the deer's dropping their antlers. So
Right.
I need to go scouting. I need to see. I need to see what this terrain looks like with nothing on it.
Right.
And
'Cause it looks-
I want to
it's
find
gonna
where
wake-
they're bedding down at or whatever. Yeah, it's tough.
So
It's hard to juggle it all.
I
really.
like hunting way better. I liked 3D.
Oh, I do too. Everybody likes hunting better than
Not
than
this
I
guy.
think. Really?
Yeah.
I'd
I
rather.
used to.
I would rather hunt than shoot archery.
I would too. I mean, and
I'd rather
I
golf,
did.
but-
Obviously, when this range closed, it stopped being friends that I knew did it, and
Yeah.
there's no. So I don't shoot 3D anymore, and
Yeah,
and
it's-
I dove into hunting full time, and I mean, he makes fun of me that I'm out on October 1st. Well, October 1st is the first day of archery season. I ain't gonna miss it.
Yeah.
And he's like, shouldn't step in the woods until November 10th.
Yeah,
Shut
Hey,
up,
I
dude.
mean, I don't know if there's a right and a wrong. There's a lot of guys kill big deer in October.
Oh,
1st,
sure,
you know,
sure.
I mean,
I just
mean,
hate battling the mosquitoes.
Yeah, well, I do too. Yeah, I mean, it's. Hey, here's the way I look at it. Any day you can get to go hunting,
It's a
you
good
better
day.
go
You're not
hunting.
going to kill them from the couch.
There you
Trust me,
go.
I know that for a fact.
There
I've
you go.
tried.
Yep. And it's tough. It's fun.
So let's transition a little bit, I guess, and talk about some hunting. You hunt ever since you were little?
Oh yeah, yep. That's really. I mean, it's just a way of life for me, really anymore. I mean, my family. I mean, we're outdoors people. I mean, I mean, when it gets warm, our TV won't even get turned on because we'll be getting in at dark. Especially my little girls. I mean,
Does
they're-
your wife hunt?
No, she does not like bugs. She does not like hunting at all. She doesn't mind fishing, but she loves to be outside. Like, she likes to do stuff outside. So, but my daughters, they really enjoy it. They love to fish. They love to go, turkey scouting or just, I try to make it fun for them. I don't take them long,
Short,
and they're
quick bursts.
short,
they're,
quick. There'll
Four,
be,
you said?
Yeah, there'll be 5 in May.
So my youngest is 9. She's a daughter, and she went with me scouting twice last year to
That's
change
cool.
trail cams and
Yeah.
things like that. And then we went into the woods, and she sat in a blind with me for 2 or 3 sits this year for the first time.
cool.
And then Saturday she went shed hunting with me for the first time.
I can't wait till Lily's getting excited. She's 7. I also do a lot of gun shooting at the house, so she's given me a rule that
That's
I can't
cool.
shoot any does or small bucks. And then we actually had a big buck sitting in the front yard one day, and she wouldn't let me shoot it. I mean, it wasn't big,
But it would have, yeah.
yeah.
That's
And then
pretty
Leo,
cool.
my little boy, he's 7 months, so I think he's got about 3 or 4 more months until he's ready to go.
Yeah, he'll be ready
Yeah,
about a year
I
old.
got
Yeah.
a small little
By November he'll be ready.
243.
Yeah.
He'll be able to go.
Yeah.
Very little kick.
Why not?
So,
Yeah. Get him a crossbow.
so what's the biggest deer you've ever shot?
Oh, I had around 150 inch. I think it was right at 150.
Bow or gun?
I shot it with a gun. Yeah.
What's
Did-
the biggest bow kill?
Did Lou put
130.
you on it? The Lou Allen guide
Brian
service.
Allen?
The,
No.
the
I
Lou
don't
Allen
think so.
guide service.
No, but I hunted with him that year.
He's a great guy.
I
I'll tell you
know
that right now.
yeah, for sure. I hunted with him.
I wouldn't know. I'm the only one at the table he hasn't taken on
That
it.
year I shot that deer. I hunted with him at a spot that was the same spot you hunted.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
magical
that-
farm.
yeah.
that's
Side of the hill?
I hunted Death Valley a
Oh,
lot.
down there in the
Oh,
bottom?
So they
Time
named
out.
it Death
He-
Valley
So I told
because
you
of
I
that
asked
night.
I asked you. I told you I had recon some questions today.
Yeah.
And it was Lou, and I said, "What should I ask him?" He goes, "I said, I want to know a hunting story." He goes, "Tell him to or ask him about Death Valley."
Yeah, so Lou's like, hey, we need to shoot some does this year off this farm. You can come hunt with me. You can shoot a nice buck if you see it, and shoot. Got to shoot does. And I'm like, I just started drooling because I loved shooting
Jackpot.
does. I loved to eat. We eat a lot of deer meat at my
Yeah.
house. That's what we eat a lot of venison. So anyway, I'll never forget it. There was this corner right there. Nothing. It was a big oak flat. It was the inside corner. And I'm like, man, that oak corner looks smoking. I'm like, I'm gonna go there in the morning. First morning, I went in there and wrecked too. I'm like, I'm calling this Cooper's Corner. And he started laughing. He's like, all right, we'll call it Cooper's Corner. I was like, I found it. I was like, I found this spot. You wasn't hunting here. You was hunting all down here in the other spot. And I'd seen like 15 or 20 deer that morning.
Well,
But I was kind of like, I wasn't like underneath the white oak tree that they were wanting, but there a couple of them got around. So I shot 2 does. Anyways, that evening we went out. And I shot 2 does that morning. And I wanted to go buy some more broadheads from Walmart. I was shooting. I don't
You
remember
shot
what
that
broad-
many arrows, you need
yeah,
more
I went
broadheads.
and bought some more broadheads. So I went and brought some more broadheads. We go back out that afternoon. We go down here, and Brian's like, we're gonna hunt down here. They always come out down here in this bean field. And I'm like, okay. I was like, I'll go find me a spot. He's like, I'm gonna go over here. Well, I knew he knew where he.
Yeah.
He's a good hunter. He's killed
Yeah.
some thumper bucks,
I mean, he's killed some big ones.
big ones, and he was like, I want to go over here. And I was thinking, he knows where the deer's at. So I just kind of got on the edge of the woods and I just started walking the edge, and I seen a bunch of oaks in there, and they were dropping, and the deer trails were just, there was deer tracks everywhere. I'm like, I'm sitting
This
right
farm is
there. It's
loaded,
primo,
by the way.
Oh,
primo,
yeah.
primo.
And
It's one of the best spots in southern
So-
Indiana. to
yeah.
hunt. And I was like, I'm gonna hunt right there. So I have a climber on my back. I climbed up there. I'm about 25 feet. There wasn't no sooner than my butt hit the pad on that summit, and I pulled the rail out, and I sat down. And I look up, and here comes some does. And they're coming right to the tree, and I'm like, this is a slam dunk. I just drew back, and she was right there. I smoked her. She goes run over there to Lou Allen. I see her standing there, big old nanny doe. Falls over on Lou Allen. He's over there, we're about 80, 100 yards apart. I can see through the binoculars. He's like, yeah, man. I think he was about 80. And he's like, yeah, man, give me a thumbs up, And I'm like, that's so cool. I'm shaking because I
Yeah.
get thrown up when I shoot a doe.
Yeah.
And I'll be darned, those other ones ran off out in the field. I look up, well, here comes 5 more at me. Well, the plan was I'll shoot one and then he'll shoot one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, well, they're coming right to me. I
Well,
look
because
over.
they have to go past you to get to him, right?
So no, it's like I'm here and he's up here, but he's over too far. Like
Yeah.
they didn't come off the hill and go that way. They
Oh.
came right to me because all those oaks right in there. Anyway, there were some deer funneling out that way, but they were all for some reason coming right to me that night. I guess I had the hot tree. Anyway, that doe starts coming. I see him stand up and he's getting ready and he's ranging. I could see him over there and I'm like, he's not going to shoot this thing from over here. So it comes right over there and I draw back and it's facing me. It's looking up at me. and all of a sudden she starts to turn it. Man, I let it fly, thumped her. She runs. I mean, she couldn't. She didn't run very far, and she just was running and just did the death run straight down. I'm like, oh yeah, there's 2. So now I've killed. I think you only killed 4 deer in that county.
Yeah.
Well, then here comes some more, and I'm standing up and I'm looking, and I'm like, man, I'd like to shoot another one of these deer, but you can't. There's only
Right.
4 in Lawrence County. And I was standing there. And
Well,
I was,
don't tell what county it's in.
Well, it was 4.
I'm just
Anyways,
kidding.
I killed 4 that day.
I'm just kidding.
Anyway. So I was standing there and I'm looking at him. And all of a sudden I look over, and I thought I couldn't see Lou. I thought, oh, I wonder where's that. Boom! Shoots her from 80 yards.
Yeah, he
I
tells
ain't
me the
kidding you.
story today, and he said it was 72.
Yeah, it was like 72. There you go. I knew we was about 80 yards apart, and the doe was still. She hadn't made it under. Well, she hadn't made it to. She was probably like 40 yards from me, so she was still up, but she was looking my direction because I mean those does I just blasted. They just took off, and man, he shot her, and she mule kicked. She goes over there and beds down. I couldn't shoot her again because I couldn't get a shot off to finish her off. So she had to sit there and dive. But anyway, it was.
But he left the funniest part out of that story, because Lou's giving him
yelled
the
at
thumb.
me. He
After
yelled
the
at me.
first one, he gives him
Yeah.
thumbs up. Second one comes in, he smokes, and Lou gets up in his tree stand and just yells, "That's not the plan!"
Yeah, he did. All the way across the woods, and I'm like,
That's
That sa-
not the plan.
that same night, there was another guy hunting that farm. He shot probably a 130-inch 10-pointer, pretty nice deer that same night. And I guarantee that deer would have came off that hill if Lou wouldn't have yelled because it went out it went out this long finger right past that old boy, and he smoked him.
Oh.
That was a good hunt. I mean,
So Lou,
we drug him out on
drug-
the 4-wheeler. Did he
yeah,
tell you?
He said he drug 3 out with a 4-wheeler that
Yeah,
night,
we drug 3 out with the 4-wheeler that night.
and that's why you call it Death Valley.
That's why we call it Death Valley. But on the 4-wheeler, he didn't tell you this part. It was
No.
2-wheel drive. It's 2-wheel drive. We had 2 summit tree stands, 2 bows, 2 backpacks, 3 deer, and 2 men. I mean, I'm 215, 220. Lou's probably 230, 240.
280,
280.
290.
Okay, so
I'm just kidding. He doesn't listen
so
to
we'll
this.
just say you had 500-pound of man
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
plus 3
Oh,
big
you got
fat
1,000 pound of gear right there.
that 4-wheeler was riding wheelies, and I bet we had to ride it 3 miles back home.
No kidding.
At least we were all the way down there where you shot your buck.
Really?
We rode
They
it
took
all
a
the
boat
way-
back.
Yeah.
We rode it all the way around down there in the river bottoms and back up.
Yeah,
Man.
you were ways back there
Like,
then.
we was probably 3 miles from his house.
Yeah.
But and I'm not kidding. The whole time, and I'm scared to death in the back of that thing. I'm like,
I'll
dude,
just
How
walk.
fast was he going?
I mean, he was probably trying to go 30 mile an hour, 40 mile an hour. He was, dude,
Bouncing.
he was going down through there making ruts in the cornfield from the deer. Like it looked like we had a chisel plow behind us. And I'm like, holy crap. I'm just hanging on for dear life thinking, man, if he falls on me and the 4-wheeler falls on me, I'm dead.
You're all dead.
I'm dead, And all of a sudden he stands up. He's like, I got it. And he's, I'm like, so when we get to the driveway, it's gravel all
Yeah.
the way down to the road, right?
Right.
He's letting it eat, man. I mean, he's ready to get home. It's late. I mean, we've been out there cleaning those deer, getting them loaded up, tied them up somehow to drag them out. We get there. Them deer had road rash.
Oh, of course they did.
And I was like, man, we should have threw them on the rack. We should have threw the deer on the front
Right,
rack.
hold them-
I don't know what we was thinking.
Or
but-
when you got to the driveway, went and got a truck and came and got him.
Yeah, that would have made more sense. Yeah, but Lou was driving.
He was almost home.
He was. We
Oh,
were home.
man.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
That's a heck of a place.
that was one of the
I'll never
best.
forget hunting down there.
No, man, I remember the first that first morning I seen 15 or 20, and then there were so many hunts. I would lose track. It was herds.
Oh yeah, when I went down there that one time, I won't
Herds.
tell the whole story, but we're sitting in it was down in that bottom, and he's like, climb this tree. We get up there, and he goes, all right, they're gonna come from here, and they're gonna come from here, right at light.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, 20 minutes before light, and out of nowhere, deer. I mean, on the exact trail he's pointing at.
And he'll tell you the time. He had him.
Oh yeah, he had him playing out.
Yeah.
It's like he's got somebody up in a pen letting him out.
I know it was
And
crazy.
it just, I think we saw, I don't remember
It
what it
was.
was. It was like 28 deer, 29
oh
deer
yeah,
that
every
morning.
time.
And we saw the buck I shot and 2 other shooters. And one he called field goal. Was that right?
Yep.
Field goal.
He wanted to shoot that.
Oh,
deer.
he did. And it was close to giving him a shot. But even after I shot my buck, we had 20 or 15 doe come by just meandering. We had
They
one,
love to
they
bed
come
in
up
there.
and look at you like, what's up? And just wander off. It's
That was
crazy.
great.
I'll never
That-
forget hunting down there. That's so
that
awesome.
that we're down there in the swamp there, man. That
Oh, I hate that river though.
yeah, I bet you do.
That'll be
You're-
another
yeah,
podcast.
you
We'll
have
get
to
Lou
tell
on
that.
here and tell him that one.
Yeah, you'll have to tell that story. That's pretty funny.
We talking either on a podcast or right before a podcast, and we were talking about him shooting Michael Phelps because that's what he ended up naming him. And then we had to explain to the camera.
Wow.
That it wasn't
Not
the
the
Michael
Michael
Phelps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
So
it's a little too close.
That'll be all right. Our producer can edit that all out.
He's pretty good.
So he says.
yeah, he's earning his money.
We're gonna find out.
He doesn't get paid. Before we get out of here, let's go back to
Do a little more ASA talk.
a little bit.
Yeah, we can.
Just want to, let's talk about other pros and who you like to shoot with, who you don't like to shoot with.
Who's your favorite pro?
I have never. I mean, I don't think I've really ever had anybody I'd like. Oh my gosh, I don't ever want to shoot with.
Other
them.
than that, or I meant that you were like, oh my God, I can't wait to see. But it was other than that
Oh.
one guy that when you were 13.
Randy Ulmer.
Randy
yeah, right.
Ulmer, yeah, that was pretty cool. I would love to shoot with
So
him.
they do
I
this
can't-
in
like that would be the guy. Like if I was one guy, I'd be like, man, I'd like to shoot with Randy Ulmer.
so they do this in golf a lot. What's your favorite foursome? You know, if you could golf with any other three golfers, what would it be? Who would be your other three shooters? Because you shoot pro and you shoot with all the big names. So
I
Well,
love
how
shot with
about,
so
how about
many
we
good
leave it?
people.
How about we leave it? Ask it two ways then. One, pros, and then anybody in the world, living, dead, whatever, that you would like to shoot with or around with.
I mean, my favorite group to probably shoot with right now.
No, just anytime, living, dead, anything. If
well,
you could
they're all
shoot,
pros.
okay.
And-
Yeah, oh yeah,
so-
the pros
so-
ones.
So there's some senior pros too, though. But
Okay.
the most fun I have shooting with is Benny, Lou Allen, and Brian Jones. They are. We really like. I have almost just as much fun when we travel and we get there and we shoot the practice range.
Is that who you travel with? Is
most
those
of the
three?
time? Yeah, most of the time. Yeah. I mean, we try. I mean, you know, Benny's he's going with his family to Foley, but Brian, I don't think he can make it. But yeah,
Jones or Lou?
Brian Jones. Yeah, I'm going with Lou. Yeah,
Brian Jones not going to Foley?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Oh, Lou told me to ask you one other question. Who's been the most instrumental in your abilities to get better over the last 6 years? But I wasn't supposed to tell you who. He wants you to answer him.
I would have said Joby Shaw.
No, well, I can't say Joby, but Joby.
Do you shoot with Joby a lot?
Yeah, I've learned a lot from Joby. Joby's really good. Joby is a super. He's super talented. He's awesome. He's one of the best shots in the world. There's no doubt. I mean, that kid can freaking pound. But I'd say the most instrumental in the past 6 years.
Well, he wanted you to answer him. That's why he set it up like that.
I mean, he's Brian.
I love the fact that he set this question up,
So
and you're
you're
not
still
going to
thinking
answer
about
him.
Well, I'm just. I'm
he's gonna be honest.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to be dead honest. Brian has been one of the most instrumental people in my entire life the
Oh.
past 6 years. Not just archery, but he's been good as far as archery too. But like I said, we became friends through archery. You know what I mean? Just met him at the NFAA shoot and was talking to him, and we just like, hey, well, I come over one day. Will you help me? Went over and he helped me get me set up, and he set me back at first. Because he tried, I was shooting IBO. He tried to tell me, well, speed doesn't matter. You should shoot a 270 Apex 8 on a 28.5-inch draw. And I'm like, okay, you know, because I'm like, man, this bow shoots awesome. You know, I was
sure.
wadding them. I mean, at all distances. Well, shoot, you get out there and misjudge 1 by 1 yard, and you're an 8 solid. You know, I mean, like,
You're
oh,
lobbing
wow.
him in.
Yeah, I mean, I remember going to, I think it was in Pennsylvania, Franklin, PA, or somewhere, and man, it was terrible. I shot awful. I shot I think 30 down, or 40 down. It was terrible with that bow. I come home, set up a Monster 7, and almost made the world shoot off. At the IBO Worlds, the next shoot,
And you-
IBO Worlds,
And you
got
still talk to Lou after that? I would
Yeah.
have said,
I was like,
see ya.
I was like 270, 310,
310.
310. I think I'll take it.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely helped.
So you switched arrows this year.
I did. Yep.
How come?
With my new bow, I wanted to try some different arrows.
What were you shooting and what are you shooting now?
I was shooting gold tips. and I just wanted to try the Black Eagles, and they have a lot to offer in the Black Eagles. You know, a lot of different spines, a lot of different arrows, and they're great arrows. I mean, I'm super impressed with them. They shoot awesome.
That's what I hunt with.
Yeah, they're great. And gold tips were great too. I mean, you know, everybody. I mean, there's a lot of good arrow companies out there, but
I know you shot that one score over at Accuracy.
yeah, that was the best. That was the prettiest. That was the tightest indoor target I've ever shot.
That was impressive.
Yep, and I shot that with
Which was for all of us. that
I
don't
just
know
it was the
story?
first one with my Martin. I shot a 329 X with
Oh.
it. But I was shooting my Martin 38, and that was 23 PS 23s.
Yeah.
First time I shot them. I fletched them up on a Sunday and shot them on Tuesday.
And just have you changed any point weight or anything in them from that setup, or
Nope.
have you just
No,
they
I'm
shot
rolling
so
with
good,
it
you're
because-
just gonna run them?
The day I fletched them up, I went out and shot a little bit at 50, and they were just stacking them. And I talked to Dan a little bit.
Yeah.
He's a little bit shorter draw length than I am, and then he gave me some pointers on the builds, and he was spot on. Hit the
Nice.
nail on the head.
Nice.
So.
So are you going to all the ASAs this year, or are you going to try to?
I don't know if I'll go to all, but I'm going to try to go to most.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about Texas. I like Texas.
Well, you
but-
made the shoot off there last year.
Yeah, yes, and I really, that's why I like Texas. But
You were shooting for your belt buckle, right?
yeah, Matt's got one of those.
I do.
We
And
talked
I-
about it on the last podcast.
I tell you what, and that was one of the things I mentioned. That's one of the goals I set when I started shooting is I
Yeah,
want a belt buckle.
Yeah, that's
And
pretty cool.
that's the first one I ever
Goal.
won.
Yeah.
And, man, it was.
It's
awesome.
just such a long haul, man. I mean, when we,
you know you can fly.
yeah, but then it's expensive.
I got a pretty cheap ticket.
Yeah, well, me and Brian Lowell and Brian Jones drove last year, and we drove after that shoot off. I was so mad at myself. I couldn't see straight. I felt like I could have bit my bow in half. I think I might have started out driving. I drove us for a while, and then Lou and Brian both chipped in and drove, and we drove all the way home.
Are you serious?
I was dead serious. We drove all night long.
What was it 13, 14 hours?
I think it was about 13. I'm trying to think of what time that shoot off got over. Like 7?
Yeah, because they shot Friday, Saturday night shoot off.
Yeah,
right?
we drove straight home.
Usually starts at 5-ish.
I think we drove. I drove for a good while.
So yeah, you didn't get home till 8, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
was
that's
time
about right.
change.
Yeah,
Man.
we made her though.
Yeah.
Saved on a hotel room, right?
Yeah, saved on a hotel room, and we just. I mean, I think Brian Jones. I ended up falling asleep in the back. My drilling dumped, and I was just.
Oh yeah, you
asleep.
probably just.
I was crashed, and I remember waking up in Nashville, and we were in a wreck, and I'm like, oh man. It's
You
gonna
weren't
be a
in the
lot.
wreck.
No, we were stuck in a wreck. And then we got through it and got home. But that is the worst part for me about shooting. Number one is leaving my family. Number two, I hate the travel. I absolutely, positively hate it.
All right, so let me ask you this. I don't want to extend this podcast longer than we have to, but this is
We'll have to have you back because this is fascinating.
a question I want to ask every pro we get on here.
Mm-hmm.
Why does nobody make money in the pro class? You guys are pro archers. I mean, you guys are pros, and it to me is so sad that you look at the payback, not necessarily the contingency. I think contingency is pretty
Contingency's
close to
great.
where it needs to be.
Yeah, a lot of the bow companies
But
are,
the payback you get from the ASA, I don't know the numbers. I don't know what everybody's bringing in. But what if you win, what do you get as a pro? Just from
ASA, I think it's only a couple $1,000.
okay, a couple $1,000.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot. I will take a couple.
Oh,
$1,000.
absolutely, it is a lot to most people. Yeah.
But
But you're really shooting for the contingency and the.
what's
Here's the deal. A lot of guys, I mean, the guys that are doing it for a living, they are doing it for a living, but they shoot because they love it. It's not just about the money either. I mean, it is in
Well,
a way.
it's gotta be
It
a part
is in
of
a
it,
way,
yeah.
but I mean, they truly love what they're doing.
Hey, quick question about that. How many pros that's their job versus you?
Oh,
That
I don't.
have
There's probably
work
not
at-
very many. There's probably maybe a handful.
Handful that have real jobs?
As far as 3D,
Real jobs.
3D.
Wait, which way?
No, are you talking about 3D or overall
Just
archery?
overall archery. So like Levi, obviously.
Like Levi, Dan, you got Slosher, Hansen, Tedford.
But so most of them have.
there, I would say out of
daily
all
jobs?
facets of archery, there's probably maybe 15 full
I
time?
would have guessed 20, 15 to
15
20.
or 20 full time? Like that is their job. That's what they do for a living. I mean,
Yeah.
that's including 3D and everything. It's really, really minimal. I mean, there was like, 3,200 people at
Vegas.
Vegas. I mean, you probably had
you got-
20 of those guys did it for a living.
Wow.
That's it. Out of 3,000.
Which to
Did
me,
one of them win? The guy that won.
I don't
No,
think
he-
Kyle
he-
Douglas does it. I think
he's got an archery shop
yeah.
in Utah.
I mean, he's in the industry. He kind of
and he's younger, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's 22.
yeah, he's young.
So I don't know how much parents influence that at that age. Or
I don't know,
what
but
we
I mean,
about.
good
but
for
it's
him.
just it's frustrating for me, and I have no skin in the game, but it's frustrating for me to see how
They
hard
need a bigger sponsor, Matt. That's
they work, how hard you guys work, how tough an actual tournament is to win. I mean, it's
oh my gosh, it's like
any-
next to impossible.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. I don't care how good you are. You have to have luck on your side.
Absolutely.
You get drawn, and you're,
Yeah.
you've got a close target, and you're the last shooter. You have to shoot a center 10 because you can't risk
100%.
jumping out into an 8 or a 5. So there's luck involved. There's skill involved. There's just immense amount of preparation and work. And to see the money you guys shoot for,
Oh yeah.
and for you to say it's cheaper to drive,
yeah, 100% cheaper
that's
to drive.
it's so to me. I just hate it, and I know that there's nothing I can do.
No, it
If
takes
I
a
ever figured
bigger.
it out, I could, but I would love to.
It takes a bigger name.
Do you think in the next 5 years that will happen, or do you think it's going to take longer than that?
Man, I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that question. I hate to leave you hanging, but I don't.
I mean,
Well, so I guess my question is 3D ASA growing, or is it going backwards?
I
'Cause
think
if it's
it
not
was growing there for a while, and I think maybe now it's kind of stayed stagnant.
which isn't going to
Uh,
lead to more sponsors, right? Like if it's not growing, what
I
makes
mean,
it?
I don't.
I mean, I don't.
It
know.
was booming there for a while,
Yeah.
man. I mean, and it still is. It still is.
I mean, they just broke a record at Vegas.
Yeah.
How many people shoot in your pro class with you?
I think in the unknown, there's probably usually 30 or 40.
And
Probably a normal
and then
number
what,
is 30.
50 and known?
Oh no, there's probably some shoots 80 to 100.
then, really.
But I think IBO doing what they've done, I think IBO is going to be the one that grows a little bit bigger going forward because they got the new speed limit rule. They're going to have a shoot down.
Grows bigger in the sense of
I think
its
ASA is
percentages,
probably
or it's
is.
not gonna-
I feel like ASA is big, and they're big enough, and I don't know. In order for them to get much bigger, they're going to have to change venues, probably at all these places.
yeah. I mean, London.
I mean,
look at London.
Look at London. Yeah, there you go. That's a prime example. But I feel like IBO balls in their court kind of right now.
Yeah, they have a great opportunity.
Yeah.
If they do
And
the
as
right
bad
things
as I hate
with
to say it, if they'd add some known distance, maybe. I mean, because a lot of guys are raving about that. A lot of your amateurs want to shoot known. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, and that's why I shoot known because I don't have time to go out and judge targets, and I'm not going to pay money.
There you go. I don't blame you.
I'm not going to pay money to go to an ASA event, pay hotel, entry fee,
I don't
food,
blame you.
all of it,
I don't blame
and
you.
go there and misjudge targets by 5 yards. I could do that in my backyard for
Yeah,
free.
yeah. Well, if you're going to misjudge that bad, you might as well just. Yeah,
It's not worth it.
Not worth it. Nope.
Um,
And that's where that's the only problem. I hate that there's 2 pro classes.
I wish there was one.
I wish there was one. Whichever way they decide to go, I mean, obviously, I'm an unknown guy, so
Sure, but
I would want it to stay unknown.
but
3D.
you can't tell me that if we show up at Foley and Terrell says, "Look, no open pro, it's all known," you're still going to sign up and
I'm
play.
still going to play. Yeah.
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 Because
I'm
I
gonna
would,
play.
and I don't know the finances of companies, but Matthews pays what 15 to open and 12.5 to known.
I don't know.
I'm not
on
real
what they
great at
pay
math,
it.
but what is that?
No.
27.50.
Yeah. A lot of companies are paying both.
Let's put that in one class. See what we can do.
Yeah.
You must be doing all right, Mr. Fiji Water.
I know if you can afford Fiji water, they sponsor you too.
I don't know. It's just the first one I've seen. It was impulse buy.
Yeah, do you like it?
Yeah.
If you quit drinking Fiji water, you can fly.
Yeah. All right, well, let's wrap it up. Anything you want? Questions?
No.
Anything?
No, I don't have anything. No. No.
Did you have fun?
I had a good time. I would like to thank all my sponsors.
You got to get it.
Martin Archery,
Yeah.
B3, Barn Burner's a new sponsor of mine this
Yeah.
year. Bee Stinger, Black Eagle. I hope I'm not leaving anybody out.
Get your
It's
B3.
it's early in the year,
B3,
right?
Yeah, it's early.
It's like NASCAR. You
Yeah.
don't know all your sponsors.
Yeah, I know.
You got to
It
wrap
is.
this up so you can go shoot a couple arrows
Vortex,
before
Vortex
you
sponsor. Mine.
Yeah,
they're
still
they're,
shooting
they're
Vortex.
great to me. Yep. Oh yeah, always. You know, and one other thing I don't know if anybody will even listen to this podcast because it's just us, hanging out in here. But
I mean,
We have a
you're
lot of
kind of
followers.
you're kind of a big deal.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's not
right.
for us.
I wish that was true, but
So what I was going to say,
one thing I do want to say though, hold on, Matt, is the biggest thing that people could do to help anything is shop at your local dealers.
it is, and that's something,
And that is something Amazon, and I'm guilty of Amazon. I order
everybody is,
stuff
because
off
when
Amazon. I mean,
microphones.
there you go. I mean, I went to Walmart the other day to get some socks. And they didn't have 100% cotton. I had to order them on Amazon. I mean, I'm just saying, using that for an
No,
example.
and I've got some dealers lined up. You know, Bob Miller
Yep.
from
Yep.
Wisconsin.
Yep.
I've got him lined up. He's going to be a guest because
Yep.
I owned an archery shop for a while,
Yep.
and in
You
my
got-
area, I would have a site $10 more expensive than not Lancaster, but Amazon. They'd go buy it on Amazon, bring it in here, and then when I tell them it's $10 to set it up because
Well,
they
here's
want the
the
third
deal, they
access
can-
set, they'd complain at me.
You get your phone out and you order it right to your house.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's but that's a whole nother podcast.
That is, and that'll help. That would help grow as things. But
So we thanked our sponsors. We talked about all kinds of good stuff.
yeah, all kinds of fun stuff.
Um,
Now we can go shoot some arrows.
did you have enough fun you'd come back?
Yeah, I'll come back, but maybe not this late because
Well-
we like to do them in the mornings. We get all hopped up on coffee.
I love to drink coffee. But
we can
right
sit
now
here-
I'm ready for
We
bed.
can sit here and just pound coffee all day and talk till about noon.
Yeah,
we could
I
do
would
a
be-
Facebook Live one
Yeah,
day.
we should do that. We should
Yeah.
do that. We should do it on like a
Well,
Saturday.
we would
morning.
be done if you didn't have to shoot arrows so long before
Yeah,
we started.
Whoa, I was shooting while you guys sat
we
up.
were
Well-
ready to roll, and you were like, "Let me shoot far more."
Well, I
Well,
want to see how
sure.
good Justin is at producing because what everybody doesn't know is like every 10 minutes Cooper's had to get up and go shoot. So this podcast is taking like 6 hours to build.
Hey, if you shoot against those guys,
You gotta do
you
it,
gotta
right?
get it in when you can get it in. And I don't have any kids running around in here, so
I know
can
you're
shoot a
looking
few
over at these
arrows.
targets like, man, why are they talking so much? I could be shooting these. Look at these. So, all right, well, I've got nothing else. If you've
Thanks.
got nothing else,
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yep.
Appreciate it. It's
No
nice
problem.
to
It
meet
is.
you finally.
it is a pleasure as always with you.
I'm excited for.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go to Foley. I am.
Yeah, I'm glad you decided to go. I know you were.
I was kind of in lingo
In the air,
about it.
but-
Yeah, it's just hard to get off work and everything. And
It is.
I got that elk hunt. I'm more excited about
So,
September.
when you win, we'll have you back on, okay?
Yeah, that might be a while.
Well,
I'll be at the Foley.
we'll
tell
have
you
you
what, I'm
on
gonna
for hunting
schedule it
season.
now.
How's that?
Let's go ahead and schedule it.
We're
Yeah.
scheduling it now.
Producer Jay saying, "Let's go." So,
Okay. All right,
All
we're
right.
wrapping it up.
until next time, thanks Chris Cooper for
Yep,
having
no
or joining
problem.
us, and Matt and Rusty. We're out. Thanks for watching the
See you
Archery
guys.
Roundtable.
We appreciate you all tuning in today. We'd like to thank our sponsors for making this podcast possible. Please like, share, and subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. See you guys next time.